This is the iPhone 10, and this is the one that completely changed the whole iPhone experience. It has a beautiful timeless design despite it being 4 years old at this point. But how well does it perform 4 years later? Is it any good for 2021? Well, let's find out. Hey, what's up everyone, my name is Fel and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to tell you if the iPhone 10 is still a good option to consider. There are still many good things to say about the iPhone 10, so let's get to the point. The iPhone 10 has a very familiar design because we can still see it on iPhones as recent as the 11 Pro. It's kind of hard to distinguish between the two if you look at just the front. Same notch and everything. It has a pretty small form factor and it feels premium and sturdy because of its stainless steel build. The back of the phone features a dual lens camera module and a glass finish that still looks great, although not as good looking as a frosted glass panel on the 11 Pro, but still looks great. And the only downside could be the potentially visible fingerprints. That problem, of course, disappears if you use a case. This specific model doesn't feel outdated at all. In fact, if you're not a complete Apple fanboy or girl, using something like the iPhone 10 may not feel much different than using something like the iPhone 11 or 12 on day-to-day use. The iPhone 10 comes with the A11 Bionic chip, which to me was when the iPhone started getting really powerful. They were always powerful, but this was something else. Now, the A11 Bionic is not extraordinary by today's standards, but still powerful enough to handle most apps and tasks. It comes with 3 GB of RAM and it has a pretty decent performance in day-to-day use, to the point that you wouldn't be able to tell that it is a 4-year-old phone. So yeah, don't expect top performance when you're doing some heavy lifting like video editing or something like that. But the A11 Bionic should be more than enough for regular use. And it's also worth mentioning that the iPhone 10 comes with Face ID instead of Touch ID, which is great because it's faster and simpler. Not in a pandemic, of course, but still. Apple is well known for supporting their devices for years. For example, the iPhone 6s, which was released in 2015, is compatible with the newly announced iOS 15. That is 6 years worth of updates. So yeah, I'm quite positive that the iPhone 10 still has some great years ahead. The iPhone 10 was the first iPhone ever to feature an OLED display, which was a massive upgrade from previous generations. This OLED display is still extremely good, and when you compare it to all the other iPhones that have come out since the iPhone 10, it's hard to notice a difference. Although the displays have gotten a little bit brighter, it's still hard to notice. You have to compare them side by side to really see it. This is one of the things on the iPhone 10 where you can expect top performance. And the OLED display on the iPhone 10 is actually better than the LCD display on the iPhone 11 and 10R. If you watch movies on your phone or you play video games or pretty much whatever you do on your phone, it's gonna look great with a display like this one. The iPhone 10 comes with a 12 megapixel dual camera system, which features a regular wide-angle camera and a telephoto camera. And for the vast majority of people out there, this camera is okay. Of course, it's not the best and it's not even close. You can really see the difference if you compare this camera with a more recent iPhone like the iPhone 11 or 12. No smart HDR, no night mode, no deep fusion, and poor low light performance. But with the right lighting conditions, this camera is good. When it comes to video capabilities, it can shoot 4K at 60 frames per second, which is quite impressive to say the least. You also have things like portrait mode for featuring frame shots of people and objects where the background is blurred out. On the front, you have a 7 megapixel camera, which can be used for selfies and video calling. Performance here is decent, but don't expect too much from this camera because it does have some limitations. But overall, the camera is decent for 2021 standards. This is the one area where I found myself struggling while testing this phone. I normally had to charge it in the middle of the day to be able to get through the day. So battery life is okay, but barely. You're gonna be better off having a battery case or a charger with you at all times, just in case. Is it worth it? Yes, of course it's worth it. The iPhone 10 has aged really well. And if you're in the market looking for a new phone and you don't want to spend a lot of money, the iPhone 10 is now very cheap to buy. You'll get the modern iPhone styling and stuff like Face ID and a still powerful processor, which despite its years will still be more than enough for most users, meaning 99% of people. And the iPhone 10 can now be picked up for around $300 refurbished. Let me say that again, $300 refurbished. Now, it doesn't have 5G and the A11 Bionic is not as fast as the A13 or the new A14 Bionic chip, but it will be more than enough for regular use, like social media, FaceTime calls, some video games, reading. You get the point. So yes, the iPhone 10 is still well worth a look, providing that you understand that it is 4 years old and the camera is nowhere near as good as what you get with the iPhone 11 or 12, but still quite decent. So if you can live with this, the iPhone 10 for $300 is basically a steal. And on that note, it's time for me to go. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so very much for watching, for being here with me. I truly appreciate each and every one of you in this channel. I hope that you guys are all doing great, and I'll see you on the next one.